Hi everyone, it's Grada again from tonight on Miracle FM. And sorry I missed you all last week. It's good to be back. And while I wait for a few people to come on board, I'm just going to ask you to check in to your breathing, just talk into your breath, and every time, even when you watch the replay, I want you to just check in with your own feelings while you do this for 20 minutes. This is every week, Monday night at 7:30 is a chance for you to tune up and check in and tune up to Miracle FM. By Miracle FM, I mean that you are the miracle. And if you don't believe that you are a miracle, you can also turn it around and ask yourself the question, in what way am I not a miracle? And then you realize that you are made of the stuff of miracles. You are made of the same atoms that make the stars in the universe. And every thought that you have is a miracle, and you are your heart is able to stretch and grow and to feel full of love. And miracles are natural. Miracles are outside time and space. And when you think about what defines a miracle, that's actually the same definition as what defines you. So tonight, just right now, I want you to offer you the opportunity to tune into your body and to become aware of the miracle inside your stillness. So just breathe into your body and step outside time and place and just tune into yourself. Tune into the empty space behind your eyes and up a little bit, and then go down into your heart space and then drop down into your pelvis. If you find it hard to drop into your pelvis, just imagine a little candle and be attracted to the light of that little candle. And just notice what this tiny little short meditation does to your energy, to your subtle energy. All miracles originate in the energy of the subtle energy field before they become everyday miracles. So just ask yourself the question again, is there anything about me that's not a miracle? And then you have to admit to yourself that every part of you is a miracle, and it helps you to step outside your little monkey mind that's always fixated on problems and on worries. And that's also the mind that's responsible for you when you don't take enough self-care. So tonight, as I'm sitting here sharing this experience with you, I realize that I'm finding it a little bit harder than normal to tune into that source of stillness that's always present inside me under all the other layers. And the reason being, of course, that we've had a very busy 10 days moving the clinic or the healing side of things into my home. Hello, Leslie, how are you? Good to see you here. And yeah, thankfully, it went without any mishaps. A lot of muscle power and a lot of scrubbing, a lot of cleaning, a lot of sorting, and a little bit of heartache on my part because of saying goodbye to the Purple House. And at the same time, of course, I'm very happy that Eve is taking over and going to do an amazing job with Alchemy. And so I noticed, though, the huge difference in my behavior this time compared to 10 years ago when we took possession of the Purple House. And I'm very, very proud as well of Eve and watching how she, even after, I should say, how they've taken on an enormous job and doing all this with 3 little children as well. So when you're a mom, and of course moms are often, they are my passion. I love to look after moms and the children. And when you're a mom, it's actually really hard sometimes to be the person that you want to be, and it's because we often feel that we fall short and we feel disappointed in ourselves, and that can block our self-love, and we, instead of self-love, we fill up with guilt. So it's been also really interesting for me to watch Eve, how she sometimes goes into overwhelm and then has a little bit of a, maybe blows a fuse, and but I noticed that it doesn't take Eve long to recover, and she's back on board. And I think that's amazing, because life is not about not having a reaction ever to anything. Life is about life happens. We often have little crises, and sometimes we go from crisis to crisis. And life is, our journey is about how fast we go from living in reaction, which is unavoidable, to living from our core being again. And so that's a practice. It takes like as much practice probably as preparing to climb Mount Everest or being an Olympic player. And every morning I hear Paul go to practice his basketball play early in the morning, and then he often does it, plays at night again, or he does training for his basketball, but he usually only plays 1 game a week, and he doesn't even play a full game often, but his whole life revolves around playing that 1 game once a week if he's lucky. And Paul is 30 now, and this has been going on for well over a decade. So of course the game that we play with ourselves is much more important than a basketball game. Our game is the game of life, and it's not always about winning either. It's about personal growth, and that we realize we're in charge of our reality. And if we truly want to be in charge of our reality, if we want to create the miracles that we want to see and have the results that we long for, then we have to practice checking in to our body and checking in to our emotions and being honest with ourselves. So that's enough talking for a little while. I realize I'm talking from my head bubble, and that's because, of course, we've been so busy. I haven't done enough self-care. So if you're training for the Olympics, imagine if you're training for the Olympics and you don't do your self-care, that means you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well, you're not drinking well, you're not doing your practice, and you're not doing your mind focus or your meditation. The results are not going to be very good. So I realize, of course, because of being so busy, my tanks are fairly empty tonight. And I'm sure most of you are feeling the same. So just for now, just for a few minutes, I invite you again to drop into your heart space. Just focus on your breathing. Focus on your vertical core, which is your subtle energy being. And just feel how easy it is to come home. That's your real home. First of all, find that space behind your eyes. And if you notice other people are occupying that space, just get the broom out and sweep those images out the door and close the door. Breathe into your body again. The greatest gift of self-care that you can give yourself is the gift of meditation and spending time with yourself, remembering you're a timeless being. Drop into your sacred space of your heart. Your heart is the stuff of dreams. And then drop into your pelvis again. If you're finding it difficult to drop into your womb space, just light a little candle in there. And just imagine the light of one little candle dispels even the deepest, darkest darkness. For instance, in an underground cave. You only need one little candle. Just drop into your womb space. This is your power base. Feel your energy soften. And just think of all the striving and the hard work during the day. Just leave all that behind and treat yourself to a moment of stillness. Just imagine you're sitting near a lake and it's a perfectly still day. And you see a clear reflection of your environment reflected in the lake. This is how you get clarity over your life if you have to make decisions. And this is how you visualize something that you desire for yourself in the future. Bringing into your future self. Bringing that into the present moment where you are perfectly still and balanced. Just take another breath in and out. And it's just as simple as this to find your space of love and to readjust yourself so that you are able to create the life and the future that you want. So pretty much everything that you desire for yourself, first of all, you drop into your own still point and then you bring in your future self. So remember what I always tell you, this is your spirit being, which already lives in that place of abundance. Your spirit, where your spirit is, there is never any lack. There's not a shortage of anything. There's no shortage of safety, security, love, wisdom. All your answers are already there. And then we have our personality. So when we wake up in our personality, one of our personalities, I should say, jumps on board. Or you could say that's also the mask that we carry. And it just gets affected, goes up and down. You watch the news, your mood plummets. And then something good happens and your mood goes up and then it goes down. So of course we need to learn to tap into our spirit and to create stability and a permanent state of well-being, and that you feel unshakably okay. That's what life is really about. So that you also can be the gift to the world that you're meant to be. So while we're moving the purple house, something horrible happened as well. Even as it were working and the kids, we thought the children were inside. And suddenly little Eli went missing. He's 3 years old. So we raced outside and we were yelling for his name and screaming. And then we looked upstairs, we looked downstairs, we looked in all the rooms, we looked in the toilet, and we couldn't find him anywhere. And by that stage, this was probably only about 2 minutes, we raced outside again. We looked all around the house and we looked up and down the road. And of course, Eve was crying and I was crying as well. And I rang Peter to see if he could come over, and we just had a moment of absolute intense terror and panic. And then we went inside for another really good look, and here little Eli was sort of squashed in a little corner under the kitchen bench, and he didn't want to come out of hiding. So of course it gave us a moment of where even I said our nervous system was in tatters. And I took Bobby home, and on the drive home I was crying, and it took me, well, quite a little while to feel normal again. So this is the sort of thing that happens, that gives our nervous system a big shock that we need to recover from. So the thing about life is that we need to make sure that we immediately take care of ourselves and do something to drop into that still space, that all the dramas and energy shocks that we experience during the day don't pile up and up without us doing our homework and empty our stress buckets. So every day, the greatest gift that you can give to yourself is to take a minimum of 10 minutes a day where you drop into your still point. And for the people who know what to do, I also want to remind you again to run your energy. So running your energy means tuning into the center of the earth and opening up to the earth energy that comes up through your feet and your knees, and then fill up your pelvis, and then let the surplus flow out again, which returns into the earth energy. And while you do that, you then allow the cosmic energy to come through your crown chakra and wash out all the stresses of the day. The cosmic energy flows down the back, does a U-turn, and then it flows up the front and comes out of your chakras, and like a fountain washes your body from stresses. Because what people don't realize is that if they don't run their energy or do their meditation or enter their still point every day, traumatic experiences leave an imprint on us, and they just build up and up and up. And before we know it, our filing cabinet is full of trauma, and we can't enjoy our life anymore. So life is all about slowing down our resistance train and speeding up our joy train. But you can't jump from one train to another if they're going really, really fast. So we start with little steps first, and we slow down the resistance train. And when I say the resistance, just simply means the resistance to our own feelings. So just for a minute, for example, now I'll show you what to do. I'll stop talking, and inside my body, I'm still not feeling as calm as I usually feel. I feel a lot of resistance. When I think about that incident with Eli, I still feel shock there. And when I'm in resistance, I immediately just want to push that shock down and away. So I haven't fully worked through that yet. I also feel resistance in my body because I don't feel very good about last week, that I completely forgot to do my Facebook Live. And right now I also feel a little bit ashamed that I didn't prepare for this Facebook Live very well. Now, shame is a feeling that nobody likes to experience. And where do I feel that shame? It's right in my heart and in my TMJ. So I'm giving you an example. So the more I resist that feeling of shame that's still here, the faster that resistance train is going to go. And before long, I lose control and I'm full of negative emotions. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to sit with that feeling of feeling ashamed and embarrassed. And now I also realize I have a feeling of not feeling good enough, which also sits in my head. And I'm just going to feel it and sit with that feeling for a second without any judgment around it. Because as soon as you judge a feeling, you go down the gurgler. It's okay, and I feel now it's moved out of my head into my frontal lobes, all that shame, tiredness and embarrassment, and feeling guilty, and I feel silly. And now it's gone. So I actually feel relieved. So that's all it really takes. It's just checking into your body and spend a little bit of time every day checking into your body, the same as that you open the dishwasher and you check if it's full of dishes. I've done plenty of dishes in the last fortnight. Or you open your computer and check your messages. But the most important relationship and the most important job that we need to repeatedly do is just close your eyes, check into your body, what's going on in my body right now. Get to know yourself, get to know you are your own best friend. And most people that are sick, they're trapped in an unhappy relationship, or they're just stuck, they feel stuck. But actually, the real stuckness is not so much in their outside relationship, it's actually happening in here. So as soon as we open up, jump, get off that resistance train, jump, slow down the resistance, drop into your own heart, feel your feelings, sit with your feelings, allow them to evaporate, and then you can jump onto the joy train. Because love, joy, and peace are our natural state. Remember what I said, miracles are natural. There is nothing artificial about a miracle. Our thoughts are miracles. So just make sure that the quality of your thoughts, that you keep a check on your thoughts. And your feelings are miracles too, of course. But it's not about positive thinking all the time or positive feeling all the time, because that creates a lot of resistance in our body too. So it's just checking in and being honest with ourselves. And then allowing those feelings to disappear. When that happens, you reach a still point and you can have absolute clarity. And you can stop worrying. So remember our little mind, we have two minds, the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. And the conscious mind loves to be fixated and on problems or on worries that most of the time they aren't even real. And they're just a misuse of our imagination. So stop the fixation and just distract your conscious mind by tuning into your body, which is the home of your subconscious. And your subconscious is the realm of miracles. So I invite you all, again, between now and next Monday, meditate on the thought that you are the miracle. And if you find that hard to believe, just meditate on the thought, specifically in what way do you think you are not a miracle. Sometimes it can be helpful to do the opposite and see what you come up with when you contemplate that subject. And then remember to drop into your feelings at least absolute minimum 10 minutes a day. If you want to be like an Olympic player in the game of life, you have to do your homework and you have to take good care of yourself and also commit to loving yourself unconditionally. The more you love yourself unconditionally, the easier your life will be. It's like all of life or universe will readjust itself to accommodate for you, or will bend over backwards to make your wishes come true. So this is it for for Monday night, Miracle FM. And I am really looking forward to feeling more prepared next Monday night. But in the meantime, I want you all to have an awesome week. And thanks for tuning in. Much love, and I'll see you next week, all being well. Bye-bye.